Okay, let's talk about refining your offer. And really, this is about the launch conversation. So I mentioned this back in module one, and that this is a real thing. It's not just some platitude that I talk about. The launch conversation is this idea that during your launch, you're going to get a lot of feedback from your market. It's going to come in a variety of ways. And that's one of the most powerful things about product launch formula is you don't have to guess at what your prospects are thinking. You don't have to guess at what their hot buttons are. You don't have to guess at what their desires are. You don't have to guess at what their objections are. You don't have to guess at what they want, the results they want. And when you can actually deliver exactly what they're looking for and talk to them in the language that they use, when they're talking about their hopes and their dreams and their challenges and the things that keep them up at night, it makes it a lot easier to sell. It makes it a lot easier to build your business. That's what the launch conversation is. And the pre-pre is where you start this conversation. It's the start of this conversation. The conversation will continue throughout your pre-launch and throughout your open cart, but this is the start of it. And it can be a really, really powerful start. This is where you start to get great engagement and really solid information and data about what to include in your offer. And if you don't already have the language down, the vernacular down, then this is where you start to build that up. In the last video on the shot across the bow, there was the comment in that testimonial cruncher about the pain of selling bottom tick or buying top tick right around the support resistance zones. Go back and watch that video if you missed that part. But this, you can really, in that comment, it was just one sentence in a fairly short comment, but you could just feel the pain in that short sentence. And you can actually, it starts to give you, if you're not a professional copywriter, and I certainly wasn't when I started out, I really didn't have much experience at all in it, but when people give you if you look at the actual language they use, the actual words they use, the phrases, the sentences, the terms, and you can drop those into your copy, if you can use them in your copy, it makes your copy so much more powerful. So if then there's a lot of, as I showed you in this module, there's a few different ways that your pre-pre can go, that your pre-pre launch can go. But all of these, you're getting responses to your email query, to the shot across the bow, to the general survey questions, the testimonials from the testimonial cruncher. And you can also look at the comments left on blog posts that you've put out, or videos you've put out, or social media updates. And you can also look at other blogs and other people's social to see the kind of feedback that people are giving, the kind of questions they're asking, the language that they're asking. So there's this old saying in copywriting, and I'm pretty sure it came from Robert Collier, and it goes that this is it. It's you want to enter the conversation that's already going on in your prospect's mind. So that person that is a prospect for your product, they're walking around and they've got a conversation that's rolling nonstop through their head. We all have that conversation going on in our heads. So you want to tap into that conversation that's already going into their heads. And that's what a launch conversation is about. And that's what the pre-launch conversation is about as well. So you want to take all this and you want to use it to refine your offer. You can use those words and sentences, those phrases, and put into your copy for your pre-launch, for your open cart emails, for your pre-launch content, and for writing your sales page and your sales copy. And you want to also, if you can, use it to refine your offer. So for instance, there's one time where I was offering a product that I thought was only for super advanced people in my target market. I thought it was for very advanced people. But as I went through the pre-launch, I started to realize that a lot of newbies were interested in the topic as well, that they were super, super interested. And as I looked at this, I started thinking about it, like, yeah, actually, this is a fit for newbies as well. but I think I need to refine this offer just a little bit. I actually need to refine the product. So what I did was I just said, and the product was done. The product was in the can. It was already done. So what I did is I added in a series of calls, a series of coaching calls. I think it was 3 coaching calls that were specifically newbie focused. And I can't remember exactly what I called it. It was like the newbie quick starter or something. I did 3 calls, and each one had a topic, and I did Q&A on each one. So this was a bonus I added to make the product newbie friendly, but it also made the offer newbie friendly, because then I could, in my sales message, I could say, oh, by the way, we've got this bonus. If you're just starting out, this product actually worked for you because I have this special newbie quick start coaching package where we're going to do 3 calls, and I'm going to, coach you through, the starting up from scratch in this market, and you'll get to ask questions on these as well. So that was an example of I added a bonus to round out the product and also to answer any objections. So that way, if people were like, wow, this sounds cool, but I'm a newbie, I'm just starting out. I'm like, well, yeah, actually, I've got you taken care of. And so that's where I actually used the launch conversation to modify the offer. So you can also use, well, you're going to want to use those testimonials you gathered in the testimonial cruncher. You can use them any number of places. You can use them in your sales video, your sales page, in your open cart emails. You can even use them in your pre-launch emails. And if you have really powerful ones, and now this is a great way to surface like the super fans, the people that have had great results or really love your work, you can take those people and you can follow up with them. You could follow up and get a more extensive testimonial, or you could shoot a short testimonial video with them, or ask them to shoot a testimonial video, or you could do a case study with them. And you can use those anywhere. You can use them in pre-launch, or they're especially powerful during the open cart. So launch conversation is super, super powerful. This is one of the key things that makes product launch formula work. And the biggest mistake I see people make is they don't listen to their market. They don't give their market, your prospects, the opportunity to interact and have this conversation, and then you don't listen to them. These days in my launches, I get thousands of comments, literally thousands of comments, and I actually read all of them. And there's not that many people that I know that read all of them, but the people that do, those are the super successful people. So my advice is to actually really pay attention to this entire launch conversation. Use that feedback in your offer, and use the feedback in that conversation in your copy, and that way you will have a winning launch.